When I look around this room, I can't help but wonder, is Ozempic right for me?
Ozempic has been around for several years now, and it was a treatment for type 2 diabetes. In 2022, it started entering the public consciousness.
Ozempic is great for people whose parents can't cook.
Like, shut the f up. You're on Ozempic.
It was a social media phenomenon. This surge of beautiful people talking about losing weight with this medicine.
What is Ozempic phase?
The biggest corporate beneficiary of the drug's popularity has been Novo Nordisk.
Ozempic's success has turned Novo Nordisk into Europe's biggest company, with a valuation of $450 billion.
That's overtaken its peers such as AstraZeneca, GSK, Roche, LVMH outside of the pharmaceutical space.
But a new contender has entered the ring.
Eli Lilly also now has a competing drug. It's called Zepbound, and it looks to be even more effective than Novo's drug, and it also is a little bit cheaper.
It's really set off a horse race between these two fierce competitors to see who will take the biggest part of this enormous market.
It begs the question, as new drugs come to market, is the pie big enough for everyone?
Ozempic and Wegovy have the same main ingredient, which is called semaglutide. This is a GLP-1, so that means it's mimicking a hormone called GLP-1, which your body would naturally make after eating.
They slow gastric emptying and they suppress your appetite and force you to eat less.
Researchers started to realize from very early on that weight loss was going to be a side effect of this type of medicine.
In 2021, semaglutide was approved for weight loss with the brand name Wegovy. And that's when it started to become something much more than just a treatment for diabetes. All of these GLP-1 drugs, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, all have side effects. The most common are stomach issues, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, but Zepbound actually looks to have potentially less side effects.
We have been competing with Eli Lilly for 100 years in diabetes, and we're happy to do so in obesity also.
The competition between Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk is nothing new. Both companies released their first insulin products in 1923, and both of them have really dominated this diabetes space. There's also been an increase in type 2 diabetes, which means that there's an increase in demand for the drugs that treat type 2 diabetes.
They're also being tested in several other diseases, sleep apnea and other comorbidities of obesity. This could be one of the biggest drug classes by sales.
In 2019, Lilly and Novo traded at comparable levels to the rest of the pharma industry. Since June 2021, when the FDA approved Wegovy, the stock's valuations have soared, tracking alongside companies such as Apple. They're being valued on how much they're likely to grow in the next few years.
So both Novo and Lilly are trading at essentially tech multiples, which is not common for the large pharma group.
Another similarity with tech is the need to keep innovating to overcome competitive hurdles, which in pharmaceuticals includes the patent expiration on drug formulas.
Patents protect a drug from competition for a certain amount of time, enabling the originator of the drug to recoup their R&D investment.
Drug makers can never rest on their laurels, right? These drugs are just hitting the market now, and they are nowhere close to their peak sales potential.
We really haven't seen this much hype around a pharmaceutical product since Viagra.
Ask your doctor.
Ask your doctor.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
And it's interesting because Viagra was discovered in a similar way. Viagra was initially developed for heart conditions and saw that it had these other effects and then went after it for erectile dysfunction.
For drugs like Viagra, these are small molecules, so they're easy to produce. And when they lose patent expiration, they tend to lose around 80% of their sales within their first year. For GLP-1 drugs, these are larger molecules, so much harder to produce. So when they lose patent expiration, the sales decline is much slower.
We have a lot of other drug makers looking to get in on this market now. Amgen's developing a shot that can be taken less frequently. This is the first time that we've had drugs that are really effective to treat obesity.
Amid this potential sales bonanza, both Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly are investing heavily into expanding capacity. But for now, producing enough drugs has been tough.
Do what you gotta do, just make sure you save some medication for the people that actually need it.
The demand for these products is so high, off-label usage is high, and so Novo has actually started to restrict lower doses of Wegovy in the US to protect the patients that are already on the drugs.
Another hurdle is reimbursement and also cost.
All of the drugs are really expensive right now. We're looking at $1,000 per month or more. Obesity for a long time was just thought of as a lifestyle choice. You'll lose weight if you eat less. We've seen how much money the diet industry makes here in the United States. And so it really wasn't until the last decade that obesity has been treated as an actual disease.
So it hasn't really been reimbursed well, and it's largely been an out-of-pocket market.
If you've never lived in a bigger body, you have zero room to judge.
You know, I've been covering pharma for 15 years, give or take, and I've never had people be more interested in a topic. When you talk to people about these, they very quickly go to a place of, oh, do you think that I need this? It speaks to the consciousness that people have about their bodies in a really interesting way.
So the obesity market was worth $2.5 billion in 2022. We estimate that this market could be in excess of $80 billion by 2030, and that's based on relatively low penetration rates, around 11% of obese patients in the US being treated, about 6% in Europe. Novo and Lilly are really going to be driving the space.
Because now we have two competitors in the space, it's just going to make the whole market bigger.